Yeah, it's something going on with yours because me and Jace are like real time in like eyeballing each other like, what the fuck?
Hello, basement dwellers. Welcome back to another episode of Basement Discourse. Last time we had Kendall on and he just fucking took over the show, as Kendall does. You're here again with Brady, your anime person. We've got Jace over there. I've noticed that the recordings for some reason reverse the way I'm moving. So
Flip
I'm
it
going to
back.
say that.
Flip it back.
That
I'm right
way.
guy.
Does that mean I'm up here?
No, you're in the right spot, but the way I move my hands, like, is the opposite for some reason. Like, I always point to you, that makes sense on my screen, and then when I watch the recording back, I'm pointing the wrong way.
Like staring into a mirror.
Just fix it in post.
Just flip myself for that 1 second, and then back.
Or you could.
We
just
have
leave
Jace
it
the
with-
gamer. We've got Justin down there. Ooh, he's gone back to his real name on his
Yeah, I have
on his
to.
little description there.
I don't
Justin,
even know how
our
that
bottom
happened.
man, he likes to roll some dice, and we've been up to some things, and we want to talk about them.
We have
So,
been.
who wants to go first? Scissors, paper, rock. You two, go.
Ready? Good, baby, good.
Fuck the ping.
What the fuck?
Justin wins
Go.
for those who are audio listeners, and if you are listening on audio,
What are we doing? This is just
You're
dumb.
fucking us up.
okay, I'll call it. Ready?
All right, ready?
Scissors, paper,
paper,
rock.
rock.
They both. Oh, nah, cool. Justin
yeah.
wins.
All right,
Back
cool.
as we were.
Jesus.
But if you are listening on audio, please jump over to YouTube and subscribe because this shit is way funnier to look at.
Yeah, like if you
Justin?
see how ridiculous Brady looks,
Yeah,
it's
on
true.
the daily. On the daily.
like he has the worst facial hair going. Don't even
It's
talk
true.
about the colored hair too.
Yep. Yep.
It's like that full mermaid style. You've just got to see it to believe it.
It's got to be done. But for more regular updates, we're all over Instagram, Facebook, and somewhat regularly on Twitter. And we do shorts from our episodes on Twitter. No, on
TikTok?
TikTok. Yeah, the talking of the ticks and the youth.
You
Justin, what have you been
handle
up
that.
to?
How are you so bad at remembering the places that you manage?
Justin, what have you been up to?
Yeah. it's fucking
Wow.
right.
Fantastic segue there. Wow. I got me a new sweater, so hence the new background color of green to go with my new sweater.
One more thing people are missing
Very
out
happy.
on from audio.
So happy. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So you got to get over to YouTube and sub.
You
You
need to
can't
coordinate
actually see it,
colors
so
though.
sub.
It's important. Like I get my
That's right.
keys to match my face tattoos.
Oh damn, they're almost matching my sweater as well.
Yeah,
so
dude.
is Brady's gross ass hair. So now I got to get a new
Yeah.
sweater.
I get my booze.
I'm gonna
to
get new
match
face
my-
tattoos now.
Get my booze to match my hair.
or we remove Brady's hair, one or the other.
Yeah, I
think
say
that's
we
probably the
shave-
easiest way.
We give
Yeah.
him the Justin.
Yes.
The
He'll
Justin.
never be me because he can't grow a beard.
Yeah, well, that's
No,
true.
sad truth. So what have I been up to this week? I have been printing a whole lot. So I got a whole ton of resin in the mail the other day, which was awesome. Ordered it and it came within like 2 days. So thank you, AliExpress, for the fastest delivery I think I've ever had from you guys. Like you generally, if I order from those guys, I'm expecting a month and a half delay. And it was like 2 days.
I've ordered
dumb.
once from AliExpress. It took 2.5 months to show up, and yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
that was
fucking
legit.
forever.
Like the expected ETA for this thing, the ETA, fucking expected ETA. ETA was like, I think it was 28th of September. So it came 2 days later. I was like, that can't be it. Opened it up, like, damn, son, 8 kilos of resin ready to go. So I've been printing like a madman in preparation for something we have coming up in just a few weeks, really. Not too far off when this episode airs. So we're going to be working with a local brewery in the area of Southern Highlands, New South Wales. So if you're in the area or if you happen to know where that is, you can just fly on over from wherever you are. We're going to be doing a beginner's D&D session at Eden Brewery in Mittagong, New South Wales. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we're going to have a bunch of different tables, a bunch of different DMs running each table. and it's all going to come to a conclusion by the end where you're going to see a bunch of people having to join forces against something. So I don't want to ruin
It's gonna be
anything.
really
So
cool.
I think it's going to be awesome. So
I think it's going to be shit.
We're sort of planning.
I don't know. Everyone was too
Great
hype.
sell.
I had to bring it down.
Great
Yeah.
sell there.
Because we're thinking like the idea is to get people who haven't played before into an environment that doesn't feel like going to someone's creepy shed.
Yeah, it's not a creepy shed. It's not a regular like nerd shack. Like it's not the nerd store.
The Games Workshop, is it?
Yeah, it's not a Games Workshop or anything like that. It's totally like a regular human setting. So
yeah, and we're just gonna sit around, chill, drink some beers, and play some game.
And you meet in a brewery, like cool take on the old tavern. So I think it's gonna be quite a lot of fun.
Super keen. It's gonna be a blast.
So I've been printing minis for that like a madman lately. I ordered 20 more sets of dice just in case I didn't have enough.
I can't believe you did that, by the way.
AliExpress, man.
Okay.
Hang on.
I was going to say, how the fuck did you get so many dice without like breaking the bank? Because I know you're a fucking cheapskate. So like,
I am. This is true. Yes, very true. I am a cheapskate, and I just jumped onto AliExpress and just bought a bulk ass pack of like cheap dice. Like, so they're nothing special. They're just going to be your generic printed out dice, but you know.
But I've been wondering about this because we've talked about dice and they're hard to get a hold of and all that sort of stuff for a while now.
Yeah.
You have a 3D printer and you're subscribed to D&D. Have they not provided at least one time dice schematics? So
there is actually a problem with that as well.
Mm.
So think of the weight of resin. It's not
actually,
going to be.
It's fairly light in comparison.
Exactly. So your rolls won't be very balanced.
Yeah, and also like when you're printing things on a resin printer, they've also got like supports that come into play as well. So then you've got to clean those supports up. If you don't clean them properly, you're gonna have little bumps on your dice.
Yeah.
Probably
is that
gonna
happen
have like
on dice?
somewhat weighted die.
Yeah.
Anything that prints on a 3D printer is gonna have like the issue of supports and stuff, which is a pain in the ass.
Imperfections and shit too.
Yeah,
so,
I actually bought some molds to try and do it with like liquid resin, and I fucked every single one of them up that I ever tried. So I stopped doing that because resin's actually very expensive. So I was like, nope, it's cheaper just to buy dice at this point. So did that. They worked out like $3 each. So yeah, bulk buying dice if you need them for your players is the way to go for sure.
Speaking of buying dice, do you know how fucking impossible it is to track down dice for Star Wars?
Oh yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
They don't exist. Yeah.
I was trying to get some like physical ones. It's impossible. They're sold out everywhere, except I think you can get it if you buy like a core rulebook type thing that ends up setting you back like $150 if you can find it.
Yeah, and even they're kind of scarce. Like, and I'm pretty sure like most of like the starter sets don't even come with them. Like, it's rough. Yeah, they're something that I would actually consider printing and then just like working through the fact that they're a little bit fucked because you cannot find them at all.
Yeah,
so,
that's
a different kettle of fish.
Why is that? Is there a fucking shortage on the stuff they make dice out of?
It's pretty popular. The game like suddenly has just erupted, and I think it's just scarce. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might be because like, so there's There's Edge of the Empire, and then there's like 2 other variants of it. It's all part of the Star Wars RPG, and it's sort of boomed in popularity. So they probably had, like X amount in stock. And then because it's gotten a heap of popularity, everyone's just bought up the dice.
Mm.
And then it might also be popularity of it on Tabletop Simulator. Like if you open up TT Sim at the moment, there's usually multiple games of Star Wars Edge of the Empire or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
I think it's Saga. I think it's just at least that's what Jacob was saying it's called. I think it's just Saga is one of the
I think he's talking about the old D20 experience there.
Okay.
That's what Jacob plays or used to play. So yeah.
Cool. So apart from that, what else have you been up to? I mean, that sounds like it's taking a bunch of your time though.
Printing and painting has been a lot of my time. I don't know if you guys know how hard painting is, but it takes easily about 2 hours per mini. So
What are you talking about? I smashed one out in like 15 minutes.
I was gonna say
this is true.
I remember
This is true.
bashing one out in like 15, 20. Like
Yes.
I don't know
Sure.
what you're talking about.
You are
Sure, it
correct.
might have looked like a blind
foot.
man with Parkinson's painted it, but like, whatever, I nailed it. See, now you get to censor me, Brady.
Yeah, I
Wow.
do.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of that as well, trying to catch up on my backlog, but at the same time I'm printing more, so it's just like, fuck, damn it. So I'm printing them and I'm trying to paint them at the same pace, and it doesn't work because printing takes a lot less time than painting. So I'm getting an even bigger backlog now of things I need to do, which is very frustrating to look at. So I've got one shelf full of painted stuff behind me. I've got another shelf over here of painted stuff. And then I've got the shelf of shame over the other side of the room, and it just grows. So
Your minis are like my gaming back catalog.
yeah, dude, exactly right. Yeah. And they're probably equal amount of times needed to be spent on them just to finish them up. So
Oh,
it's
fucking
very
A.
annoying. Yeah, very annoying. But yeah, aside from that, I've been playing Deep Rock Galactic quite a bit. Really enjoying that still.
You're still cracking on with that, yeah?
Dude, I really like it. And with a group of like actual friends, or like a decent group together, like I finally had a 4-person group for the first time, and we flogged it out. It was so good. It was just like so much fun. And they're randomly generated dungeons, so you can really just jump in and, you know, it feels like a different experience, even though it's almost the same thing each time. You go down, you mine some stuff, you kill some stuff, you get out of there. It's pretty intense. It's good. You can up the difficulty when you know that you're in a decent team as well, with better rewards for it. So, you know, risk and reward sort of stuff. So, and I've also been playing Blood Bowl 2, which has been quite hard. I really suck at that, considering the world I'm in and the you know, the tactics that I'm used to. You'd think I'd be good at it, but I'm really not. So that's been really rough to get into.
Yeah, just watching that stuff, it looks like it's a fucking headache. So do you know much about it, Brady?
No, I don't. Run me through.
It's Warhammer cross gridiron.
Yeah. So it's
What?
an exact variant. Exactly. Yeah. So they actually brought them out as printable minis. Like they printed them out and they put them out there as like their own little game.
Yeah, it was actually originally like
Like
an
a
actual
tabletop.
tabletop.
Yeah.
And
they're still
then-
out there. Like you
Yeah.
can still get them from the Games Workshop like shops now. Like you'll always go in there and you'll still see a Blood Bowl set up somewhere in the store. But then they decided to make video games on them as well. So it's like a turn-based tactical style football game.
Fuck, you can make anything out of you make a game out of fucking anything. That's wild.
Yeah.
What a crossover.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then to make it
actually
turn-based,
works.
like
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah. So you like
Actually-
full set your team up in regards to how they work. Like, so you can build a team from scratch, like build them up and mix them up,
Yeah.
mix races and all the rest of it, or start with like wood elves or whatever. And then they've obviously got their strengths and weaknesses per player. So you've got catchers, throwers, linesmen, the big boys, the brawlers, all that stuff. And then you've got these other
know what
weird
a-
ones that are out there. Like, it's so
I
much
know what
fun.
that reminds me of from a video game perspective. As a TTRPG, that's fucking wild. I don't even know how you do that. But Jace will get it. Is Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. That's a turn-based fantasy type fucking. So this game,
And it's almost like underwater soccer, sort of.
Yeah. So it was in Final Fantasy. It was one of the things, like, you know, Gwent in The Witcher and like all
Yeah.
that.
Justin
So
knows
it's
that too
very,
fucking
very,
I do.
very
Love me some Gwent.
optional sort of fun thing to do. But you can like recruit players. Like, dude, I only played like half of Final Fantasy X the first time I played it, because I spent like 40 hours creating an incredible Blitzball team and just got stuck in it. But it's like you're swimming in a big bubble in a stadium, and then there's like a goal at either end, and it's fantasy. But you just mash anything up together and just be like, yep, there you go. It's turn-based though, so you can have your time to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Well, this
I
is
think
like,
that helps with those sorts of things, though.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That only gives you 2 minutes though, and you've got to move your whole team in that 2 minutes. Like, or you can move your whole team in that 2 minutes. So it is a bit hard. And if you fail anything during that 2 minutes, that means your round is over. So if I go to pass a ball and my thrower is a 50-50% chance of throwing it correctly and my catcher is 67%, there's a good chance I'll probably drop it. He fumbles it, he drops it, then it passes around to the other round, like it's their turn.
That's cool.
So you got to think about like, all right, where do I want to be at the end of this 2 minutes? Where do all my guys want to be? What can I succeed at easily? And then what do I want to take a risk at doing later? So then you really got to set yourself up. It's like fucking full on, man.
Us geeks are fucking weird at making stuff that's super brutish into like super technical.
Yeah.
I love it.
And like you can take down other players and like actually kill them. Like legit can like hurt them. You can KO them, or you can even potentially murder them on the set. So that's pretty cool. Like
that's fucking great.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of fun, even though I really suck at it. So I've lost 2 for 2. And I think we put some money on it too. So like stakes are like,
oh shit.
Yeah, for me, stakes are high. I want my $10 back.
Was it?
That's a kilo of resin,
money?
damn it.
Was it sweater money?
Yeah, every money is sweater money. Because if I see a sweater on sale, it's mine, bitch.
Why don't you start 3D printing sweaters?
If I could, I would.
Isn't that just like a knitting machine or something though? Like
by that point, most likely there probably is a knitting machine out there. That
surely
would make
there
me a sweater.
is.
That's what I'm getting your wife for her next birthday. Vouchers for like sewing classes for how to make sweaters.
Should be so disappointed.
Yeah, so like every other day.
Like every other birthday. Yeah.
Flawless.
Nice.
Oh man.
That's me. I think that's everything I've been doing lately. So we met with Jacob from Eden Brewery, of course, and we hashed out a little bit of the plan moving forward. And if you're a local, you may see it pop up on your Facebook feed sometime soon. So
hopefully
jump on, secure yourself a ticket. They're free. So, there's that.
Free? I can afford that.
Oops, post video Brady here. Just letting you guys know the event will not be free. However, it will be quite cheap. I think we're looking at $10 to $20. The link will be in the description of this video.
I know, right? I think most people could, to be honest.
I feel like that somehow still puts me into debt. I don't know. Stuff's...
Yeah, no, that does check out.
Even his internet didn't like him for that comment.
Yeah,
I know.
He's thinking about money. It's
I tried to stay dead still and
money.
Tried to stay dead still and be like, I hope they play along. You fucking didn't. Not at all.
No, fucking not a chance.
Yeah,
that's all right.
So that's my life at the moment. 3D printing, painting, and setting up ready for this Eden Brewery session. So yeah,
that's cool, man. What about Gamer? I mean, your Dark Souls runs are over. Are you empty?
Well, as you may have seen, I just finished Dark Souls 1 for the third time this afternoon.
I did see that. I was confused.
It was funny as, like, I was just fucking around because I was like, I wonder what it's like making a strength build. The answer is it is hilariously easy. There were only 2 bosses that took me more than 1 attempt. And the last boss I killed in 3 hits.
Do you feel like it's also that maybe like it's your skill is like what to expect going in? Because like
not only do you have knowledge of the boss,
else, yeah,
but your actual souls, you're accumulated to it right now. Like you're fucking in.
Yes and no. So the difference is with a strength build, your weapon for every singular hit you get is about 6 or 7 times the amount of damage of what I was doing with daggers.
Right.
So
yeah.
So all I need to do is
slower, right?
It is slower.
Yeah.
But those same opportunities, those same openings that you would see for like a dagger shot still apply for a big weapon. So you just wait for that same opening, you get that 1 hit, and that's equivalent of 6 or 7 dagger shots. So coming off the back of a dagger run, it feels like fucking easy mode. It's a joke. Like I beat the last boss in my underpants.
Nice.
Yeah, it was easy.
But it was pretty cool.
But like I do feel like Jace is like so accustomed to like the Souls likes now that when he gets out of bed, he just like rolls to the toilet. Just like And then as he like pisses and like he just like nearly misses the bowl a little bit, he does like one of those like back dashes to like dodge the piss.
Quick step,
Goes to
Goes
make
outside
himself a
with too many
sandwich, just pulls out
bags.
the little dagger, like
That's it.
Waiting for him to like carry too many bags outside and a bird goes past, so he tries to roll and it just happens really slowly. He's just fully encumbered.
rolls over all of his cameras, getting ready for the next session.
I should point out that I never fat roll. Never. I will always like I'll wear
Just
underpants.
all that expensive shit.
Oh no, like I will never wear heavy armor in any of those Souls games.
Nah, it's
If I cannot roll at the absolute maximum speed and distance, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
So I played most of that strength run. Like I just kept trying to up my equip load so I could wear armor, but it never got to a point where I could fast roll and wear heavy armor. So for most of it, I just wore like armored pants for the most of the run. Because I was like, no, still need to fast roll.
You got to protect that crutch.
It's got to
That's where
be
the
done.
valuables are.
That's it.
But aside from playing Dark Souls and finishing that stuff up, there is one thing that I was thinking about the other day, which is sort of relevant to things I'm doing at the moment. So I'm playing Star Wars Edge of the Empire with our good friend Zach. And Justin, you're aware of this because you sort of stepped out as I stepped in.
Yep.
And I
Good
was
friend is
thinking-
an exaggeration. He's just a dude that, like, you know,
Well,
shows up in things.
he's good and he's a friend. I'm just merging words here.
Yeah, okay.
And saying that he shows up that's excessive.
He's there for some things.
No, Zach's a good kid, but
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this, like for moments in things that we do in our offline lives, it kind of sucks that you can't like really capture a moment that you're not like actively recording and shit. Because like the other day when we were playing Star Wars, my character, who is a Jawa, so for all you familiar, 3 foot tall little sand rat in a cloak, I jumped off like a 15-foot railing and stabbed a Mandalorian to death with a vibro blade. So like I just launched myself off a platform and just like dug the knife in and slid
Did
down.
the
in.
sound as well?
Nice.
Unfortunately not. There wasn't enough sound effects because shit GM. But I was just thinking like how fucking cool would that be to like have like memorialized like being able to do that and that cool moment that I'm like,
Oh, okay, so no, hang on. When you were talking about this, I thought you meant like real life outside of TT. The way you described it, I thought you were like, doesn't it suck when you're like making a sandwich and you drop the knife and catch it perfectly and no one saw? But you're talking
No.
about when you're playing a TT RPG, but it's not being made for content.
yeah.
Doesn't it suck when something awesome happens and you can't just share it
Yeah.
with people?
And it's
That's
kind
what
of
you're
like
getting at.
yeah. And like the same thing happens with like gaming. Like when you're just playing a game for shits and giggles, and then all of a sudden you do something completely badass that you will never do again. You're like, no one will ever see my great moment.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why Xbox brought into play like capture the last 30 seconds, capture the last minute, capture the last 15
Yeah,
seconds.
PlayStation
even.
does it too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do it on PC as well, but
Yeah.
like it's a lot of effort. And nah.
Yeah, well, that I mean, there is that. So
Yeah. But like that's kind of my point is like it just kind of sucks when you do something amazing and then it's just
yeah, it's just not recorded. I feel like
Yeah.
in the future we'll be able to record everything that we see through our eyeballs, so like that won't be a problem.
well,
that'll
like
be it.
apparently I might
like on
need
Black
laser
Mirror.
eye surgery, so maybe I can get them to
There you
install
go.
a hard drive.
You know, it'd be much cheaper if you installed like some sort of a camera setup, so then like we don't have to have one of the cameras set up for D&D, especially when
Yeah,
I'm
we can get
constantly bumping
everything
on the
from
table.
Jace's point of view.
Yeah,
Just
see,
him staring at
which
his
is-
balls the whole time. Like,
No,
I was gonna
see,
say, which is mostly him looking at a camera anyway, so you just get a shot of him being like,
I'd like to also raise a point that then the most attractive member of the crew is not seen. So that's really an issue.
we
why
don't
aren't
mind.
you looking at me?
Actually, no, if I'm looking at the camera, then we would see me. That's fine. Carry on.
One of those like
Jaceception.
forever mirror reflection
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I
Through
live
the
for
eyes
that.
of you, you see the camera. Through that camera, you see you.
Flawless. That's
Nice.
all we need. That's the only camera moving forward.
Jesus.
That's cool.
But other than that, I have been playing a lot of Subnautica Below Zero. So I don't know if it's actually a sequel or just an expansion.
I think it is a sequel. I think it's a 2-year later sequel. It's a standalone. I'm fairly certain of.
Yeah, it's definitely standalone, but I
Yeah.
don't know if they consider it an actual sequel or not. Because
Yeah.
it basically runs on the same engine. It's a very similar game to the first one, just a different setting, and there's a few different things about it. Like they've added some new features and new stuff that you can do. But ultimately, it's one of those like survival / crafting games. And it's based on a planet that is 99% submerged below water. So you land in this, it's basically like the Arctic, like
On a pebble.
pretty much.
Mm.
And it's just like a few like icebergs and stuff like that, and everything else is water. And
The thing
you
I was
build
thinking
your own
about
base
for
and stuff.
Below Deep was is it like, do you get cold in the water and do you have to fight the cold
No,
as well?
you actually get cold out of the
Out
water.
of the water. Yeah. Okay,
So
that
in
makes
the
sense.
water, it maintains your temperature pretty well.
Yeah.
Out of the water, yes, you do start to freeze, and you need to seek warmth via food, or there's like certain plants that can warm you up, or jumping into water or into shelter. So it's pretty interesting in that regard. You can add some interesting things and take away stuff too. Like you don't have to bother with the like food and drink survival mechanic, because that usually bothers me after a while.
It does.
It's like
me
I just
too.
want to build a cool base and look at creepy underwater shit. I don't really care about making sure that I've had enough vitamin B12.
Yeah, that starts to get pretty old pretty quick for me with those sort of games, because it's like petrol and stuff when you're like driving around in like an open world and you're like, oh, ran out of fuel. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, it's great that these games are so realistic, but now I have to walk a very long distance. It just doesn't. It becomes very tiresome very quickly.
I think
Like-
in those sorts of games, if you have something like a fuel mechanic, you really need to have a game that is designed to, if you're going to run out of fuel, it's going to be somewhere near accessible fuel. Because I think one of the big problems with a lot of these open world games is that when they give you these survival mechanics, they just plop shit wherever, and they let you
it's like
have all
just
the freedom in
random
the
from there.
world. So then you're just shit out of luck if you end up in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And that doesn't inherently make for a good gameplay experience, in my personal opinion. Like
Yeah.
some people probably get off on it because like, that's like real life. Like, well, if that's like real life, then fuck me, I'm not paying for petrol and I'll just drive out into the middle of nowhere. Like,
just go for a stroll and find some. It'll be fine. Yeah, but you could turn that mechanic off in the first game as well. So I can definitely say that I turned that off when I started playing that not too long ago.
yeah, I couldn't remember
was
because
a
my
lifesaver.
last playthrough, I had it on.
Yeah, right. That would
and
have
that
been
was
hard.
yeah, it was annoying. Except that like you get a knife that can cook fish as you cut them. So I just cut and eat fish as I'm swimming around. So
Underwater cooking. Just cauterize the fish immediately.
well, that's exactly what it's for. It's like you combine a battery and your survival knife, and it becomes like a heated blade.
God.
Sounds like you're playing fucking Dead Island at this point. It's going to electrocute everything.
Of course.
Oh, by the way, has anyone seen that little trailer hinted of a drop for Dead Island 2? Just came out.
I heard words about it, but no, I haven't seen the actual trailer.
It's only
But-
a little short one. It's not as good as the original Dead Island 2 trailer that they brought out with the jogging man listening to the
Yeah.
Walkman. That was brilliant. But yeah, it definitely hints towards I think a February release. So yeah,
What
should
did
be
you
cute.
guys think of the first Dead Island though?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit of a breath of fresh air as far as zombie games at the time went. The customizing of the weapons was fun, but it wasn't too much to the point of like just dumb. Like you can get to the point of like, oh, I'm gonna add sticky tape to this, and then I'm gonna go and find a fucking walnut and put it on there, and then I'm gonna get some like red paint just for like aesthetics, and then I'm gonna get like this fucking battery and stick it on the side, and then I'm gonna get like, and by the time you're done, it's like 25 different things just to make a single weapon, which has the durability of a toothpick. Like sometimes it can get pretty old, but for this it was pretty straightforward. You just combine 2 or 3 things, you're done, and the most weapons didn't last that long anyway, so you didn't really care for them. Like it was just like whatever. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite a bit of fun.
Yeah,
What do you guys?
I sort of got
I
Oh.
did not play it.
you fucking piece of
You
shit.
piece of crap.
Um,
Who on a stick?
I sort of got to the point where you made it like on the island, and it was like guns and stuff were getting involved a bit more, and I was like, I didn't really like the gunplay, so I was just like, fuck this, and sort of just put it down.
Yeah, it did get a little bit more basic after that, but you still needed the weapons. So, and I think
Yeah.
somehow they managed to keep them relevant for quite a bit of it. Like you still needed them.
Oh,
So,
fair enough. Maybe I
yeah.
will give it another crack.
You've made me want to give it another crack just talking about it, just from memory. So
That's it.
Yeah.
Game review.
Wow, another
Doom
one.
3 all over
Since
again.
Doom 3. We haven't done one since then.
Yeah,
That's true. It's been a while.
and it forces you to play another game that you've never played before, Brady.
That's true. I was thinking we could do like chess.com and stream
Nah,
it.
that's lame.
It'd be
Chess.
hysterical.
I do not know how to play chess.
What?
I'd rather play Blood Bowl for fuck's sake.
Chess is a nerd's game.
Totally.
What are we?
I am totally the cool guy in this group. Thank you very much. Look at me. I'm cool.
It's funny on so many levels.
I'm not going to claim that I'm cool. So I don't,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't, I
that's
don't care
fair.
at all.
It's
I'm
weren't
fine
in the
with that.
running ever.
So
Yeah.
anyway, Brady, what have you been up to?
Yeah, weeb shit. Big surprise. Wow. So I smashed out
Who would've
all
thunk?
of the new Tekken anime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lots of thoughts. Mostly,
Sound like
But-
you were gonna like continue on that, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that one, and then
Yeah.
you're like,
I-
I've never fucking heard of this.
No, I think Kendall actually tweeted about it, and I was like,
and
the
I
fuck is this?
annoyingly don't have much to add to what he said. It's pure fan service. It's 6 episodes of fan service. I think they tried to capture what League of Legends did with Arcane.
Arcane was fucking amazing. I've never even
Yeah.
played League of Legends, but Arcane was so fucking
Yeah.
good. I
'Cause it's
nearly
the
played League of
same-
Legends.
It's a CGI animation style, and I think that's what they were going for. But they just used the Tekken storyline, which is not particularly in depth or particularly long. And if you take out every round of fighting in Tekken, it goes pretty quick, which is why they only got 6 eps. I think for the most part it was fine. It wasn't great, didn't blow my mind, wasn't particularly interesting. I thought the CGI was done well, apart from the shadows, which I'm going to have to put a photo in and then show you guys after. One thing that irritated me was the shadow on everyone's face was always a perfect triangle, even if they were facing the sun.
Yeah, right.
It didn't
That's
matter
weird.
where the light source was, they had a triangle shadow. It drove
fucking
me
weird.
mental, and I couldn't unsee it. But the CGI, apart from that, was actually pretty. I think it suited what they were doing. It was nice. I was cool with it. Apart from that, I actually found out some fun, strange shit. I shared this with us, but I think Jace watched the video and Justin didn't. One of the most anticipated anime right now is Chainsaw Man. Didn't realize that author, because I reviewed a bit of that manga many episodes back on this show, saying that I felt like it was fine, but it was super generic shonen shit. Maybe a little bit more violent. Mappa look like they're going to do a great job with the animation, but that's all I had to really say about it. found out that same author and all that wrote Goodbye Eri, which is a 200-page one-shot that made me fucking bawl my eyes out because it was an amazing piece of writing. So
See, and this is how we know you're not the cool one.
It's
You
fair,
cry
but-
over manga.
Okay, you don't read, so you can't like jump in. But Justin, you should probably
Excuse
check
me,
it out.
I have a book right here. How many books do you have within reach?
I can see several, unfortunately.
No, they're not real books. They're dummy books.
Yes. They're picture books.
Oh, some of them are.
couldn't even afford color in those books.
They've
Some of
just
them
got
don't.
they've just got Dragon Ball DVDs in them.
That's it. But Goodbye Eri was like it's really hard to describe, but like it starts out as this manga where a guy is telling the story. He's like a preteen, I'd say, at the beginning of his mother going through like a terminal illness. And he's telling it while filming it. So some scenes are shown from the camera and some are shown from like, you can see everything. But it's really interesting the way they do it because sometimes it's hard to tell what's part of his movie and what's actually happening. And then he shows this whole movie to his school, but he had this weird ending where he walks out of the hospital and it explodes and they all rip shit on him, even though that was kind of his way with dealing with, you know, an awful tragedy. And then it like progresses to go many weird directions and it's very strange from there and it's often tragic. And by the time I finished it, I was like, what the fuck just happened? But also I don't want to read it again because it made me sad. It was, yeah, so I found out that's the same writer, but he's also done some other shit. And one of them, Jace did check out.
Fire
We
Punch.
both agree. I want to see that shit animated. It's called Fire Punch, and it sounds fucking awesome. It's a dystopian world going through essentially an ice age. Heaps of people have powers, but unlike a lot of superhero tropes, a lot of them are the same power. So rather than being, you know, super unique to each person, there's a lot of copycat repeat shit going on out there. Like, you know, there's a lot of people with electric power. But the difference is in this world, this is important, these people aren't like revered and treated as like they're amazing and like they're superheroes and they go out and do a bunch of good. Most of them are used as like utilities. So the ones who produce electricity get like fucking kidnapped and treated as batteries.
Nice.
And then so our protagonist is a healer. So he just like regrows limbs and can't die really easily, that sort of thing. One day someone comes through his village, which is a tiny village. This guy's like a really nice dude. He's always cutting off his limbs for people to eat because dystopian world, not much food. Just a really nice dude. Some dude comes through his village with the power to burn stuff until it dies. The flames will not go out till the thing he's burning dies.
It's also clear to say that the guy who can regenerate still feels everything. Every time he cuts off a
That's
limb,
rough.
it's horrifically painful for him, but he does this out of the kindness of his heart.
He's like,
Yeah.
yep, there's a
So he's
good old
one of the
one-armed
few
Jim.
not he's being taken advantage of, but he's not being like forced. He just wants to help his village out.
How long does it take
this-
him to regrow a limb?
I haven't.
I think
it
it's
seems like a
minutes.
night. So this dude comes
Yeah.
through his.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. But this dude comes through his village and he's like super nihilist. He's like, why bother living in this world that's like totally fucked up? I'm just going to end everyone's misery. And that's like this guy's life goal. So he burns everyone and everything. So this dude can't die. But also, these flames don't go the fuck out till what they're burning dies. So it's years before he can take a breath without like screaming because he's just on fire. And then like so then the whole plot
Fucking
is
hell.
around him walking around. I think it totals like 8 years or something like that before he can like stand up and walk out of the burning village. But his revenge story of this man who is consistently on fire, consistently healing from his fire, to go find who did this and take them down. And I've seen some shots of the action where he just like cuts off his own arm that's on fire and throws it at people. Like, this is fucking rad. I want this animated. I don't necessarily want to read this one because I want to see it animated. Fire Punch sounds way better than Chainsaw Man, and you can't tell me otherwise. Like,
yeah,
that
like it
sounds sick.
just sounds
That's
dead set
sick.
fucked up.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. Apart from that, I've officially hit the wall of done with Crunchyroll's shit of having monopolized everything and then not providing the Australian Crunchyroll with half of what they have.
It sounds
I'm
typical, to be honest. Like, it's the same as Netflix and all the rest of it, you know, like we
Yeah,
don't get the same
it's
access
true.
as other places.
Well, Netflix actually has a pretty good reason. So Netflix is because of licensing issues with overseas.
yeah.
So like one of the weird things is, I can't remember if it was over here, but I think Doctor Who you could get over here on Netflix for a while. You couldn't get it in England. And that is
Oof.
because the BBC refused to license it in England to Netflix. Because obviously, think of how,
Yeah.
like, Doctor Who is like a big part of BBC's backbone.
Yeah, it's
And-
like it's the equivalent of the Australians round the twist.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that show held up the
watched that,
ABC.
anyone who hasn't watched that, check it out.
100%.
You will just die.
But
It's
yeah,
so bad.
I'm done with it. So
Bronson!
I'm subscribed because there's no other fucking option. So I'm just gonna VPN it. That's
That
the legal
sucks.
suggestion here. But like, it's annoying for us as Australians, right? Because I get asked for anime recommendations all the time, as well as people who are vaguely interested want to get into it. And I have a few recommendations that I go to, as we did with you, Justin. There's the comedy side is Konosuba and One Punch Man. And the serious side, or the I want to explore the adult side of anime, is usually Death Note. These are great gateway animes. They appeal to most people. None of those are on Crunchyroll in Australia.
That's insane.
They bought out the other anime companies, Funimation and Anime Lab, in a weird order. And then I know it's probably licensing hell, but this is a shit move as far as I'm concerned.
Like, how long's it been? It's been months now. Like,
been a long
surely they
time.
could have pulled over the licensing or like renewed them or whatever.
Or
I
allowed you
feel
to
like
have,
just have a
if
plan
your
in advance for
subscription,
this shit, right? Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't
if
be
your
like,
subscription is Crunchyroll,
know.
they should have allowed it to maintain all the things licensed to Funimation that they haven't been able to bring over.
Hmm.
But they haven't. If you have a login for Funimation and you're paying for premium there, they haven't turned those servers off yet. They're not adding new stuff, but their old stuff is there. You can't use that login with Crunchyroll or vice versa. You have to create entire new accounts and all that sort of stuff and pay for both.
See, shit like this is why people fly the Jolly Roger. I'm just fucking saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even disagreeing. I'm trying to avoid that. And also we're talking on the internet, so I'm trying to give people the option and just saying I'm going to explore the VPN route and see how that works for me. But
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. VPN route and going legit as possible is always the best method. But sometimes a wake-up call is needed for these giant corporations because fuck
I
them.
tweet, Instagram, Facebook at them most days. I don't think they care. I think
Yeah,
they're just
exactly.
waiting for licensing to elapse and stuff to shift over. I don't
Yeah, have
know.
you ever heard the old saying, vote with your wallet? Because,
Yeah.
that's kind of where things need to be sometimes.
I
Like,
think we're getting close. People are constantly. I do see there's like a hashtag bring Anime Lab back, but I'm like, that's you can't just tell a bunch of people
but
who like sold their company off to a massive company and who are probably very happy with themselves to like get back to work.
I
It's not
don't
how that works.
think the implication is that. But
they
more
just want the
so-
access back.
Yeah, just bring back
And
the
also
site
it was
as
a
it was.
better,
Hmm.
better UI and all that sort of stuff as well. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
Crunchyroll
that's-
is dog shit.
Yeah.
oh, it's terrible.
Hmm.
They updated it recently. It's still terrible.
It literally looks like a fan site. Like, I thought
It
it was
does,
like
100%.
a weird piracy streaming site when I first saw it.
I did too. Yeah. The way it read, I was like, okay, this just looks like any other any other downloading site
Yes.
watch
of a
cartoons.com.
gray area.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I watched
exactly
most of
like
Bleach back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like I never bothered with those sites, but you know,
That's
I
how I
had
got through it.
seen them, and yeah,
yeah, I think that's what we've been up to. Everyone check out all of our socials.
except
Definitely
Justin's.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
check mine out.
they're too slippery and round. But definitely check out the D&D game that we're going to be hosting in person soon. I think that's about it.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for the catch up, guys.